you don't get on True Social and just think, I'm going to get into a discussion and end up talking about the book of the Cave of Treasures. You're like, what the hell? What's the book of the Cave of Treasures? So you start looking into it, and it starts talking about all the Bible and Noah and the creation and like who wrote this book. And you start looking into it and all that stuff, and you start realizing all the stuff in it's real, and you're like, well, why is it so important? And it's like breaks down the genealogy. They're always talking about genealogy nowadays, and this is what these books do, and they're hidden books. And if you look into this one guy, you're just like, all right, let me pick out a random guy. And this guy buried Adam. He was like, well, I don't really know the whole story. I'm listening to it now on the cell phone, I just want to make this video while I was in the mood. And Melchizedek, you're like, who's this guy? And in the story of the book of the caves, they was like, he went to go help bury Adam with a couple people. And you're like, well, let me see what the internet says about him, and how important he was. And it's like, connected to Jerusalem and Abraham. If you just type in a simple search, you start looking and it's like, he means righteous and just, and people praise him. He's like king. He's the king of the peace. And I'm sure he has a story after they buried Adam. Because they lived all kinds of years back then, like 900 years, but 400 whenever they was around. The whole story of the flood. Everybody knows about that. Nobody denies the flood because dinosaurs, He's found in the Old Testament. So you start thinking, well, who is this guy? You start looking around. True Discipleship is a good site I found. It was like, man, talking about him, and has all kinds of interesting things about him, like this article right here. No, this is the Jewish Encyclopedia. It's like, yeah, guess what? It is true. He did bury Adam, and this is in the Jewish Encyclopedia. This is just tradition of real documents in old religions. You can't deny that Jewish people are around, and Abraham and gives blessings. Anyway, I'd say this should be, if I had to give my opinion about the video, the bottom line about the video, True Social is pretty good website, and also the Book of the Cave of Treasures. That's one to watch, and then actually think about all the stuff. And it talks about a lot of stuff that people have questions about. That they're like, oh well, it's they give the answers to questions that